Hello, and welcome to another episode of the PintSizeAnalyze podcast. In today's episode, I am going to be recapping the Seattle Mariners' unfortunate 8-9 one-run loss to the Texas Rangers today. That unfortunately, the Rangers swept the Mariners this weekend, winning all three games. Mariners were able to put together kind of a comeback in the later innings, as you can see right here. They scored three in the final in the sixth and seventh, but we're just and then ended up having runners on second and third in the top of the eighth, but we're not able to put a run home in either the eighth or the ninth to tie the game. Today's game was started by Brian Wu, who, if we go to the box score right here, we can look through his line. It was not a great start for Wu. On the first batter of the game, he faced Marcus Semien, went deep. Semien later went deep again in the game. He gave up 4 home runs, so it was 3.1 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs. All of those runs were earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, like I said, the 4 home runs. And then Gabe Spire came in and pitched the rest of the fourth, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, and then that was a home run. And then he also had a strikeout. And then Edward Pizzardo pitched 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 home run. And then Munoz pitched a scoreless inning, and Topa pitched a scoreless inning as well. For the Rangers, Eovaldi went 5 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 5 runs. All those runs were earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks, so 6 strikeouts and 2 walks, exact same as Wu. But just Mariners were able to get to Eovaldi, but they could have gotten to him even more, I would say. And then Martin Perez pitched 1 2/3 innings, giving up one hit, 2 runs, 2 walks as well, 1 strikeout. And then Chris Stratton pitched 0 innings, although he faced multiple batters. He didn't record an out though. He gave up 3 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was earned. And then Joseph Hernandez ended up getting the win today. He pitched an inning, giving up 2 hits. And then Brock Burke, I believe that's Brock Burke. Yes, Brock Burke. Okay, just making sure. He pitched a third of an inning with just 1 strikeout. And then Jose Leclerc got the save. He gave up 1 hit, but struck out 2. And then as for the Mariners, like I said, if we go for the Mariners, or if we go to the Mariners hitting box score, we'll see JP went 2 for 5 today with a home run, his 17th of the season. Julio went 2 for 4 with a walk. Cal Raleigh, 1 for 4 with a walk. Teoscar Hernandez had a home run today. He also had 2 hits. That's really good to see because Teo had a just scorching hot August, and then it's kind of cooled off in September, but hopefully him heating up is a sign of things to come. Kelnick went 1 for 4. Again, he also had a walk. Kelnick was on base like 12 times, or not 12 times, but probably like 10 times this series, or 8 times this series, I should say. And he drew like 5 walks this series. It seemed like he was drawing a walk like every plate appearance this series. I think he had like 6 walks in total this series alone, and he had 1 AB yesterday. And then Eugenio Suarez went 2 for 4. He was later pinch ran for by Jose Caballero. Caballero didn't record an AB. Mike Ford went 0 for 2, and then he was pinch hit for by Sam Haggerty, went 1 for 1, and then Haggerty was pinch hit for by Canzone, who went 0 for 2. Ty France went 2 for 4. That's good. France went 2 for 4 yesterday as well, I believe. So, and we know that France was playing awful. And then Rojas and Dylan Moore combined to both go over 2. And then if we go to the Rangers had 6 home runs today. Semien went 2 for 4 with 2 home runs. Seager went 1 for 3 with a home run. And then 0 for 3 for Nathaniel Lowe, 0 for 4 for Josh Jung, 1 for 4 Adolis Garcia, that was a home run, and then Jonah Heim, and then I believe Garver had a home run. Oh no, it was Leody Tavares who had the home run, and then Evan Carter also had a home run. And then if we go to the Savant page right here, let's check for exit velocity. So if we go right here, we'll see Julio's double was the second hardest hit ball of the game. Hardest hit ball of the game was actually a line out by Seager in the first. But if we go right here, and that was Julio's double was a home run in only Wrigley, but as you can see, Adolis Teoscar again. Teoscar's home run was a bomb. It was 426 feet, and then right here. No, where was it? Right here. So if we go right here, then we'll see that Ty France had this single right here, but then on the double as well, he barreled it, which I thought was a really important note, something good, that he was able to barrel up that double. That's a good sign. And then that's about it for the exit velocities and batted ball data. If we go to player breakdown right here, so for Wu, velocity was actually kind of up overall, but the velocity wasn't really an issue today, which is good because that's been something to look out for in every one of his starts. As for Evaldi, if we go right here, four-seam fastball, so his average fastball velocity was down 2.3 miles per hour today. He was throwing averaging 92.9, yeah, right there, 93. And he was regularly throwing 92 in the zone, and the Mariners were not really getting to it as at least like you would hope. I would hope that they would be better at capitalizing on 92 mile per hour fastballs in the zone. Unfortunately, they were not today. Well, they still put up 8 runs, but not particularly against Evaldi in the earlier innings were they doing that well. And then if we go right here to Matt Brash, I wanted to highlight something. Matt Brash has posted a 2 F4 season as a reliever, which I think is really, really exciting. If we go right here, we'll see. So, yeah, he has a 2.96 ERA on the year, 3.20 xERA, 2.2 FIP, and then 2.93 xFIP. I don't remember the last time I've seen a Mariner post a 2 F4 season. We can check if it was Edwin Diaz, but I feel like that would be the most likely answer. Yes, okay, so he had a 3.5 F4 season in 2018, and I believe that's the last 2.0 or higher F4 season by a Mariners reliever. So, yeah, and that was in 2018, the year that he had 57 saves. And he had a 1.96 ERA that year, 1.92 xERA, 1.61 FIP, and then 1.78 FIP. He pitched in 73.1 innings that year as well. And then for Brash this year, like I said, the 2.96 ERA, 3.2 FIP, or 3.2 xERA, 2.2 FIP, 2.93 xFIP, and then for the Sierra, it's 2.77. As well for Brash, one thing that I've noticed that his fastball velocity is up 1.2 miles on the year compared to last year. And that makes sense, he was kind of starting. He made a few starts last year, and I remember his velocity kind of tanking even in the 4th and 5th start that he had last year. So kind of makes sense why it might have been diminished, but still good that his fastball velocity is up. And I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon maybe his fastball is averaging 90, 98.5 and then 99 or something like that. We'll see. But 98.2 is plenty, obviously, but there's room for more. And then if we go right here as well, this is something that I wanted to highlight for Brash as well, 26.3 K minus walk percentage. And that's still with a 9.3 walk percentage. As you can see, that 35.6% K rate this year has been excellent. If we go to his Savant page, we'll see that's 98th percentile. And then for whiffs, a whiff is a swing in the zone that you come up with nothing. You don't foul off the ball, no batted ball event, nothing like that. And he's in the 98th percentile for whiff percentage. For chase percentage, that swings outside of the zone. He's in the 46th percentile. But still overall good numbers, good strikeout numbers. Both the K percentage and the whiff percentage are excellent. And then if we go right here as well, the barrel percentage. This is something that I found really, really exciting. Brash's 92nd percentile in barrel percentage. It's just incredibly difficult, and I think this is a conclusion that we can draw after 2 years of data, because his barrel percentage was very, very low in 2022 as well. Yeah, only 4.8. But I would assume that it's really, really hard to barrel up any of Brash's pitches, and I don't know if that's because of his arm angle or arm slot, or if it's because of his release point or the extension, or because of the movement on his pitches. Honestly, it's probably a combination of all of those factors, but I think that's exciting that it's just very, very hard to barrel up any pitch that Matt Brash throws. And then if we go to the xERA as well, like I said, that 3.1 or 3.2 xERA or 3.19 xERA on Savant, it's saying is 88th percentile. And then the fastball velocity is 96th percentile. If we go to the expected slugging percentage as well, he is in the top 5% of the league, 95th percentile for expected slugging. So I thought that was also really, really like an important detail. And then for K percentage, top 2%. We knew that though, 90th percentile. Also for Brash, he started to throw a sinker as well. Um, he's only thrown it 23 times this year, but I remember documenting his cutter that he added earlier in the season, which he still hasn't thrown a lot. But it's looking like next year he might have a 5-pitch arsenal going into the season, which is, you know, really, really interesting as a reliever, and honestly is like, not something that you regularly see out of a reliever. And with a pitcher like Brash, I feel like you could almost maybe even expect that he would just stick with 4-seam slider, but the cutter has helped him. The sinker could help him, and he even threw some. I know he's only thrown one changeup this year, but I remember when he was starting in 2021 for Double A Arkansas, he was throwing some really, really filthy changeups then as well. So the changeup has potential too. And if we go right here, yeah, his changeup had a 45 future grade, so below average, but it's not an awful changeup. I don't know if it's a major league quality pitch or right now, but something that he could absolutely work on and potentially turn into a major league quality pitch. And like I said, it was getting whiffs at Double A, which Double A competition is obviously lower, but it was getting whiffs then. And then so that's about it for that. If we go to the MLB playoff standings. Right here, wild card standings. So the Mariners have 7 games left in the season, 3 against Houston, who they are half a game behind for the 6th American League playoff spot, 6th and final American League playoff spot. Houston was swept as well by the Royals this weekend in kind of a shocking turn of events. I thought Houston was going to win that series, if not sweep. The Royals are a 100-loss team, but as we know and as we saw the Mariners play against them, they're not particularly easy to beat. And Houston couldn't beat them once. And the Mariners have the season tiebreaker over Houston, which is an important detail. They will have it even if they lose these next 3 games, but I don't see a path where they lose these next 3 games to Houston and make the playoffs. But I think that's an important detail that they have the season tiebreaker over Houston, because if they finish with the same records, Houston would be knocked out of the playoffs. The Mariners would be in that playoff spot. But it's looking like if the Mariners are able to win 4 or more games out of their final 7, they're going to make the playoffs, especially if the 2 of those 4 are against Houston. They need 2 of those 4 to be against Houston, and they're likely to make the playoffs. The division is not looking like there's a legitimate possibility for it at all anymore, though. But yeah, that's about it for today's episode. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see what happens in the final week of the regular season, and hopefully what happens in October for the Mariners. Thank you all so much. Peace.